Hello students, you've just started at a new school and you're walking home with some of your classmates. And as you pass a local supermarket, they say to you, if you want to be part of our group, you have to go through initiation. And the first thing you have to do is go in there and shoplift something. Now, straight away you have a problem. You're an honest person and you've never stolen anything. But you're also the new kid on the block and you desperately want to be accepted. Even more importantly, you don't want to be called a coward. So what do? Do you steal and be accepted by the group, or keep your integrity and risk being a lonely outcast? Whichever way you answered, what you're experiencing here is group pressure to conform. It's often called, as you know, peer pressure. Now, conformity doesn't always mean doing something negative. Picture this. You see someone being bullied, and then you notice a person that you admire going to their aid. So you decide to step in too. Not because it's the right thing, but because you want to be seen to identify with the person you look up to. That's still conformity, but it's pro-social. So, conformity, that's what we're looking at today. And particularly, we're going to see what a psychologist by the name of Solomon Asch did. Asch's research had a significant impact on how we understand conformity. His studies, done way back in the 1950s, showed how we often agree with the people around us and change our behavior just to fit in. And he wanted to find out why. And the study he did aimed to investigate how social pressure from a majority group could influence a person to conform and give the wrong answer to a question, just because the others in the group gave the wrong answer. To explore this, he created a simple but clever setup. Participants were asked to take part in what they thought was a vision test, and they were placed in a group with several others. But what they didn't know was that everyone else in the group was a Confederate. No, I don't mean a Southerner from the 1860s in America. In scientific terms, a Confederate is someone who, in an experiment, secretly works with the researcher. So the actual participants in the experiment don't know. They think that the Confederate or Confederates are just participants in the experiment like them. By the way, a Confederate is also sometimes called a stooge, but that term isn't used very much these days. Back to Asch's experiment. Picture this. In a room, there are a number of people sitting facing a screen. Only one of them is the real participant in an experiment, but he doesn't know that. He's sitting second to last in the line, and he thinks everyone is just like him, and they're all doing this investigation about eyesight. To start off with, the experimenter shows everyone an image of a line labeled X, with another 3 lines of varying lengths labeled A, B, and C next to it. Only one of those 3 lines is the same length as line X. The experimenter then asks each person to say out loud which of the 3 lines is the same length as line X. The task is easy, and each time the correct answer is obvious. The participant is feeling quite relaxed. But then, suddenly, in one instance, the Confederates all give the same wrong answer on purpose. Now the participant looks a bit uncomfortable. He believes he knows the correct answer, and he also believes the others have got it wrong. But what does he do? Does he go with the group, or what he believes to be correct? Here's a clip of a replication of the study done some years later.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the 5th person with the white t-shirt. The others are Confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials.
2.
2.
2. 2. 2.
So, as you can see, whilst the genuine participant looked somewhat uncomfortable, he conformed to the group by giving the same incorrect answer as they did. There were various trials of this experiment done with a number of different participants. In what percentage of trials do you think the participants went along with the group and gave the wrong answer? If you're watching this in class, maybe pause the video for a moment and have a guess. So what was your guess? The answer was, in fact, 36.8%. That's more than a third of the time, even when the answer was clearly wrong. And just for the sake of clarity, that percentage, 36.8%, does not refer to individual participants. It's all the instances in all the trials where the participant gave the wrong answer to conform to the group. But they did stay independent and give the correct answer about 63% of the time. Another finding, of all the individual participants, 75% gave in to the pressure to give the answer at least once. So only 1/4 of the participants never compromised. Well done to them.
If you'd like more free AQA psychology resources, click the link below.
Now let's look at the variables that Asch investigated. He didn't stop with the baseline study. In 1955, he wanted to explore what factors increase or decrease conformity. First, group size. Asch wondered, does the number of people in the group matter more than whether they all agree? So he tested different group sizes, varying the number of confederates from 1 to 15. And what he found was a curvilinear relationship. That means that conformity increased with group size, but only up to a point. With 3 confederates, conformity rose to 31.8%, so just under a third. But adding more people to the group beyond that didn't make much difference. This suggests that we're very sensitive to group opinion. Just 2 or 3 people in a small group agreeing with each other can be enough to sway us. Next, Asch looked at unanimity. That's whether everyone in the group gives the same answer. He added a dissenter. That's a confederate who disagrees with the rest of the group. In some cases, the dissenter gave the correct answer, and in others, he gave a different wrong one. The result? Conformity dropped. The presence of even one dissenter made the genuine participant much less likely to go along with the majority. And this happened whether the dissenter gave the right answer or a different wrong one. What mattered was that the group was no longer unanimous. So the group's agreement only really holds power when everyone gives the same answer. Finally, Asch explored how task difficulty affects conformity. He made the task harder by making the comparison lines more similar in length, and this made it less obvious which line matched the standard. Well, unsurprisingly, the conformity rate increased when the answer was less obvious. Why? Maybe because when we're unsure, we're more likely to look to others for guidance. So, what do Asch's studies show us? Firstly, that conformity can be surprisingly strong, even in clear-cut situations. But it's influenced by several things, such as how many people are in the group, whether everyone agrees, and how difficult the task is. Asch's work still shapes how we understand group behavior today, and it reminds us how easily we can be swayed by the people around us. In my next video, I'll evaluate the study, looking at real-world applications, as well as some of the criticisms of this study. See you then.